Jerry, over the past number of years, we've had a privilege of representing clients of ours as they got to the end of, I guess I would say, their ownership season, as they were ready to transition out of ownership and maybe sell their companies. I think a lot of folks would think of that as, yeah, it's primarily a financial transaction, but it's really much more than that, isn't it?
It is. So it's definitely a financial transaction.
Sure.
And that's what typically gets the news. If there's an article in the paper, the headline might relate to the financial transaction. But there's certainly a lot more to that, certainly from the seller's perspective. It's a time when they might feel fairly vulnerable, something that they don't want to happen to them. This isn't something they have a lot of experience in.
And when you get taken advantage of, they might be feeling a bit anxious or even emotional about it.
That's right. This is something that their identity has likely been tied up in for a number of years. It might be a company that they built, that they were the founder of, that now they're looking to let go of. There's an element of emotion. There's an element of trust. What's going to happen to my employees? What's going to happen to the customers that I have these dear relationships with? How can I do this in a confidential way that isn't going to upset the value that's been created in this organization for so many years? And so there is a lot to it, more than just understanding the financial elements, but that's important too.
And most of these processes take a while, don't they? And isn't part of that a trust building process? Who's the trust built between, if I'm right about that?
Yeah. When we speak to our clients about this, we usually talk about trust being the major currency that we consider throughout the entire process. First, we want the seller to trust us from the competency that we bring, our project management skills,
of course,
that they know that they're going to be communicated with very well, again, so that they don't feel in any way that something is going to be happening to them, but they're going to be part of expressing their wants and wishes as we go along. But there's a lot of trust to be created with potential buyers too.
Yeah.
They might be undertaking a significant risk to make an acquisition or to engage in a merger, and of course they're thinking about what could go wrong or how can they maximize this opportunity. And so in every step of the game, we want to create reasonable expectations or high expectations if they're warranted, but we want to make sure we're delivering on those expectations too, so that we can maintain that trust. Because if we have trust with the seller and if we have trust with a buyer, then we've got a good opportunity to create a transaction that's going to be a win-win, win-win-win when we think about.
So we want the other party to win as well.
Oh, absolutely. We want the seller to be able to see the buyer 2 years after the transaction and shake hands and smile and be cheering the company and its employees and customers on for success for many years to come.
That is a really neat focus. There's other people in the market that do this kind of work. What differentiation do you think we as North Group, with our background and our expertise, bring to the merger or acquisition, however we want to call it? What do we bring that's different?
Well, we really care about honoring the culture of an organization, understanding very well the values that an owner founded his company on, how he goes about engaging in relationships with his employees or her employees and with their customers. And we know that because of that vulnerable place they're on, these owners really want to feel cared for, and they want to feel that somebody is for them in the process. So our approach is much like our approach would be in the other services that we deliver. It's really to listen well and understand their goals and understand what's important to them, and then to demonstrate that that's what we're seeking when we seek to follow this project management plan through to finish.
And if we accomplish that, maybe we get pretty close to that win-win that you described earlier.
And if all of these parties win, then the community at large is going to win too, with keeping the company strong and the local environment flourishing.
When you think about it that way, it fits together.
It really does.
Thanks.